Wowie. Ah, Doom music is in my head again. Brother, who put these big things in this is the worst idea YouTube ever had, was to put these big things in there. Let's see. Make this work today. Oh, I was gonna do a better C video, but then I changed my mind. I was like, C is so manual that it's like if you took a manual car and gave it pedals to increase its manuability. I'm gonna be honest with you. Better C is just like that. Better C is C, but oh my god, so much more manual. Well, also I'm just not a fan of like not having such high level fanciness, which is bad. I don't like writing such fancy schmancy codes, bro. I like Fortran though. Fortran's great. Hopefully Fortran gives me like the low level access of C without feeling like a fucking manual car with pedals. I hope. Otherwise, we'll just learn C. Because C pretty fucking great for that shit. Anyway, that's just enough of out of the scope for the rest of the episode. Let's continue on with some more programming. What am I doing? Opening terminal. Daily gesture. Using Java for serious jobs is like trying to skin off rice pudding with boxing gloves. And C++ will do for C what Algol68 did for Algol. CDD underscore lang. Good evening. Something like that. Vector maxing. See where I got to. So it said to do make this work. CMD : vocab. Make it gesture text to speech. Let's see, CMD : vocab. Now it should associate THE, which is a 4-letter word, so it should have 2 indexes. WORLD, which is a 6-letter word, should have 3 indexes, a 1 index word, and another 6. CMD vocab. Wait, no gaming stream today? The gaming stream was Hexen, and we didn't even do much. So World now has 6 associations? Or several. Oh, okay. I believe it's working. I don't know how it's not working. So that first indice is going to store the amount of occurrences that it encounters of that specific string. However, or of that specific array output. However, the problem with this is that we need to associate each of those via the occurrence of it and take its indice, which you can see changed on this one. So even though the indice here may also be pretty much the same every time, well, the problem is you need to come up with like some way of referencing these. And I guess what you could do is make a associative array in there, but then we have a double associative array, and then I have to rewrite the program. So that's what I hate about programming, is that one change to an array or data type requires all of the program to be rewritten to handle that new data type that you put in. So that's kind of shitty, honestly. Even though we have a working program here. Solid parser.d. Let's call this working.d. So even if we wanted to work upon the array and make it different, I wonder if we could take, so we have a short array of arrays. We wouldn't want to do, we'd have to have an associative array for each of those. So that way it's like, then we assign a value by packing the word in. But that's the same shit we just did. We're just not using a string at that point. We packed them into ushort. Well, into short. So now we need to take advantage of that. The first one has indexes of 0, though. I wonder what we can do then. I guess this would be, I don't know. Because we have this extra space, which will always exist at 0. It's always going to be initialized as 0, 0. Every time that it finds an uninitialized value, it will be set to 0, 0. So I figured we could use that to store information on how often the other word occurs. So we just need to figure out how to associate that value. I would say we just put short on this, and then it's an associative array. However, then it becomes not a matrix, and then you can't pack values in there. So I wonder what happens if I say u long. Let's try to DMD this. Well, we want to reference specifically the array inside of here. We don't want to associate a string with a ulong to the thing either. So, well, actually, what if I did that? Yeah, no, it's probably too complex of a type. Well, we have kind of got an association down. We just need to hash it. associate them, or we generate a value per word that creates the correct indexes so we can reference them, which is an option. Take value of word, reference it from that. Well, that means we'll take a word and make a unique value out of a word. And we already have that. It's just the array, which could be used to pull the word. So then what can I do with that initial u short 0? What? Hello now just has that. It didn't even make one for world. Okay. Let's see. There we go. They both should have the same indexes on them. Well, I guess we're building a stupid AI because, although it does create relationships between the words, it doesn't really come up with the values right away. And then we can just be like, I guess for now, the simple way of doing it would be to create for our class, we implement a feature make index, make vocab of mem 0 great again. That's my campaign, guys. And after I get elected, I'm going to destroy computing. Because it makes good money when we own all the computers and nobody else does. But afterwards, void restate. But also, we would need a way of creating a context to figure out which words to restate. I mean, I guess I'm on my way towards the 1950s AIs. That era of AI computing. But this should be able to just... It creates an association of arrays. Do you like when you type in your phone and like you have all those different words and shit? This kind of creates that same kind of thing, almost. But then doesn't. But what if this, right? Let's see. So we have word, and then we have two arrays, right? That's a sentence. Those two arrays together, that's a relationship. Now, other arrays, for example, let's say I put hello Gordon, and then we do cmd colon vocab. Now they're all associated with Gordon, although it's associated with hello twice, and hello is now associated with, well, actually it is associated with hello and itself. We're back to to advanced AI TM. Kind of. I mean, we're creating relationships between words with U short byte packing, which is interesting, I guess. I don't know. I kind of want to not do more AI stuff where we like try to make AI stuff because it's kind of complicated, but I want to do vector math. So we need something with vector math. And this is the one thing that I can think of that has lots of vector math that isn't graphics. because I don't want to touch graphics. They make my brain hurt. Okay, and I don't like when my brain hurts because, boom. How when I learn C? How can I learn C? I don't know, bro. I do D-Lang. D-Lang has better C, which is almost C, but with a D syntax. And a faster compiler. And some D features, but that's pretty much it. If you want to learn C, bro, you just gotta go to clang.org, bro. They got all the shit you need. So restate. It's gonna pull... How are we gonna use this to restate the information or come up with a new sentence? So... Also, we need to hash it. Since it's an associative array, let's go ahead and at the end of gen vector, so after all of this is done, we need to call a rehash, which can't be done automatically, since all of that's happening inside of other things. Wait, so the relationships between words are run through some sort of a function or algorithm? Yeah, we need some way of selecting what words will go for the response statement. Which I have no idea how to do that. That's like my brain cells are gonna fry. Also, we don't want to call like vector rehash for every one of these for like the fucking short array word. So that is an array of arrays. Also, you might want to have a short array. So I'm just kind of saying that's a thing. So vocab could be a local one that you build an array, and then you append it to your array, or your triple jagged array, or something like that. Honestly, Fortran makes array shit easy, but this is not Fortran. Array cubed, yeah. I got a fucking 3D array at that point. Which I think would be a good way of storing them, but I don't really know. Honestly, I just need to learn AI shit, bro. I need to do AI shit for like a class or some shit, like learn that in like a fucking school, and then I could probably make videos on it, but maybe I should take a break, you know, where you like stop trying to write one program and you just go fuck around for a bit to show off to learn some new cool things, and also show them off in my case. Which we could do that today. We have plenty of time. I just want to think about all of the stuff I could add to this. We'll just call it vocab. Well, they might access it at the same time, and if they all rehash it at the same time, that's the problem. So after we call gen matrix, we need to wait for every thread to complete. So while true, so wait is while true. Okay, while true. That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna do, and for each of those, we're gonna make an I. We're gonna pass the this I to those, and then they're gonna pass it back to gen matrix. Shared before we do the for each loop, we'll put a shared ulong, which should be thread a lot. It should be thread things. Shared ulong I, and each of those is gonna just subtract from I. So semicolon plus I. I've tried this before, but I'm not sure what went wrong with it. Something did go wrong with it though. plus plus I. We got our I and word. Well, actually, word comes first. I goes second. Let's put that. Alright, so here's what happens. We pass I to ref word string. Now, we're going to actually create a thread copy of it so it doesn't just reference it again. We might have to cast off that useShared value to pass it there. Let me grab a cup of tea. Alright. Hopefully it doesn't arrest you for computing too hard. Well, I does not equal 0, and that just means it's going to wait here. And then afterwards, vocab cast, or what am I doing? Vocab.rehash. It's a property as well. So it waits until I equals 0. And once it does, boom. This just needs to minus I. So they all should be able to iterate on this, or operate on this, even though it's in this scope. It's a shared and passed off to each of them. All this does at the end is subtract I, while this is just incrementing I for every thread that it produces. So as long as our threads and I value are pretty much the same, we should be good. So while just slapticate one of those in there, I guess. G-share then. I'll G-share my I value. Fuck. Read, write, operations. Remodify? Jesus Christ, how did I went over the I key and then went straight for the O key? The O? I don't know. Okay, so this one, variable I is shadow. U long something. Java or C++. No, it's D-lang. Why would I learn Java or C++? Actually, I know why, because it's like the ones that get you jobs. Well, Java wouldn't, I would say Java doesn't get you jobs according to gesture2.d or gesture2 Java. See, gesture2 Java tells me that there are undoubtedly a lot of very intelligent people writing Java, better programmers than I will ever be. I just wish I knew why. From Steve Holden. Wow, and also tells me it has ulterior motives. Someone once said that the world would be a better place if people only wrote books because they had something to say, rather than because they wanted to write a book. Likewise, the reason we hear about Java all the time is not because it has something to say about programming languages. We hear about Java as part of a plan by Sun to undermine Microsoft. I mean, that's fair. I feel like they should have undermined Microsoft, but then they would just be like, everybody would be a Java fucking Java cell. And there's nothing worse than a Java cell. If you're a Javladite, then suck it. But I don't know. That's just what Gesture2 tells me. But also Gesture2 tells me about C++. Please censor the J word next time. Yes. Whenever the C++ language designers had two competing ideas as to how they should solve some problem, they said, okay, we'll do them both. So the language is now too baroque for my taste. Javoid? Javoid? Nah, man. They're Javladites. Get it right, bro. The Javladites. They live in the swamps, bro. You know, like from fucking Fallout 3 in that one mission where they got the trogs? That's what they are. They're the trogs from Fallout 3. That's the Java programmer. I'm sorry. G shared is required. Now it's shadowing, so we need to come up with... Huh. Actually, we'll just create this as a fucking class local. And maybe it might even need to be an array at some point, depending on how many threaded operations are running at once. Static waiter. U-long waiter. Alright, that should be pretty efficient. Actually, we'll call it wait, since I don't like that. And then we'll rewrite it with wait instead of I. Q. Stack and heap, guys. It's all that matters in life. Please learn to program today. Alrighty. Do thing task gen I. Unidentified identifier. Unidentified flying object. Wowie. Wowzoo. Nice. Hello. Welcome to a stream where a guy who uses Arch Linux Torvalds as his background is programming for you. You're welcome. And also, I have NVIDIA Jensen in the Oblivion Gate, but we used that yesterday, so I don't want to use that today. But you seem like a C++ kind of person, so there you go. There's your daily gesture, by the way. Why did the C++ programmer bring a shovel to work? They were tired of dealing with the memory leaks. From Maggie Nephew -SMA. What does this say? Fortran? Fortran? You mean like Fortran, like F90? I do some Fortran, bro. Fortran cooks. I'm just saying, Fortran is the best language of all time. Besides D-Lang. Oh my god, my keyboard skills are betraying me. Herk! What is this? What, this is the... Huh. CMD vocab quiddled me. Okay, this is amazing. Is it just stuck waiting? I think it's just stuck waiting. What is this? This is gonna be super AI though. We're writing the world's greatest super AI of all time. It's gonna be fish AI. It's gonna be like OpenAI, but actually open. Unlike what their current model is, which is closed AI. See, OpenAI will be open to everybody, even if it gets banned. Which it won't, because I'm not that smart, but... Well, also I'm not vibe coding it, so... That's probably why it was banned anyway. They probably just vibe coded the whole thing. The whole model was vibe coded. See, I learned to write code myself in the year 2026, starting in March, so... And I'm now writing pretty good code for D-Lang. But I don't know if I like D-Lang anymore. After touching Fortran, I've realized that Fortran makes arrays great again. But I think my brain is lost. So we need to do... There's a loop somewhere. Right here. Well, wait. Does not equal 0. We'll do wait dot write ln, and we'll call it with the reverse calling syntax because I like that. For 5 months only? For real? Yeah. Bro, D is easy. D will get your brain in the correct brain mode. 2. It's waiting for them to subtract, so the threads get stuck. I don't know what you said. Oh, you want me to reiterate? Alright. We're building Fish AI. It's gonna be like OpenAI, but when I eventually finish it, I'm gonna make it open source, regardless of if people tell me not to do that. It doesn't matter who those people are. And Fish AI is gonna be so powerful that they'll tell me not to do it. That's my plan. But that's if I can actually write that. And it might take me 10 years, but eventually I will get there. And at some point, I will... Well, the entire way I'll make it open source. So, thanks for the demotivational speech, Lamau. What, the motivational speech? Well, I don't know. I just like open source. So yeah, I also want to build a massive open source data center where we can have a super high performance computer for some reason. Well, it's because they want to destroy computing, so I'll make open source Amazon Web Services, but it won't make any profit. It'll be public, like a library. It'll be like a church. Church of compute. You can worship GPUs. I didn't change anything. I lost my focus. So it just stops. Why does it why does it stop? So after it finishes, subtract from weight. Right? Oh, you know what? Let's try calling minus minus this dot weight. Wait, why is it minus minus and not... actually, that would be correct. I think that is the correct overload. It's G shared it as static. You might actually get tax deductions if you can convince the government that it is a church. I see the vision. That's the idea. It's so brilliant. See, we just need to build a massive church. We can get it with 0 tax deductions. And we'll have the world's most high-performant computer. Even better than CERN's. Well, probably, maybe. It depends on what happens, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. We'll see what happens. It's, hopefully it's all Dell Optiplexes. I don't want any of those thin client computers they're making nowadays. So it's still stuck at 2. So I guess it hits an exception. Is alive. Wait. The reverse calling syntax is amazing, by the way. Well, that just writes too many lines too fast. Also, D's kind of slow. D's kind of slow. Also, when you start working with threading stuff and you stop using task pool, that's when you make your first mistake. Do you make a game? Nah. I just write code that goes in the terminal. Only standard output code. I've tried getting into game design, but is this still running? Did I just leave it still running? Let me just close that one. Dell Optiplex, the Toyota Corolla of computing. Nah, man. Dell Optiplexes are fun. But yeah, I see what you mean. They're kind of cheap. But they're powerful. Oh shit, I gotta do another daily gesture. Kinda wanna write a different... I wanna change it up today. I wanna avoid all of this stuff. But I wanna do some vector math. So let's like look into what we can do vector math with. Or actually, maybe we should start looking at the sidelining all of these projects and just focus on MPI and stuff like that, or C-Lang. We got a lot of options today. Like, this is one of those days where I'm just like, man, I don't even know what I want to program. Well, if I start learning C, I'm learning Fortran. We can't really do Fortran and C at the same time. So, it's kind of like, I don't want to learn two languages at once. I don't want to mix and match. Could learn some new features of D, though. D-Lang. Since D-Lang is one I already am pretty competent at, let's just start learning some new shit with D. Like, inside their library, they should have a shit ton of stuff. They're cheap, common, and get the job done. Also, surprisingly strong. Yeah, that's for sure. Bro, mine had a football thrown at them and they are still surviving, so very good stuff. They also were left in some very shitty conditions, which I should have called computer protective services on them, but it's fine. The computers are in good hands now. Hands of mine. What is this program here? Compute the length for standard input. Do I have lag? Stream lag? Probably. Library reference. I don't want the library. Yeah, actually, I do. Check out all of these. So, what do we want to learn today, guys? See container.pointer for an overview. Or .asterisk. You got curl bindings. By the way, you have curl, squite, and other shit too. So, those are things that I didn't even really do much with. Standard C is used for like better C stuff. This is also for interop, I guess. I suppose you would use this with like C++ as well, but I'm not gonna ever think about using C++. I've thought about it before. It's not really worth it. Starting and manipulating processes. Standard libraries aren't really great though. Spawn process. I wonder if you could run a better C program on MPI. Socket, big int 128. Oh, what about core SimD, right? Core SimD exists. Vector programming. Core SimD. Walter Bright. As expected. Let's do SimD today to learn something, because I've wanted to learn SimD for a while. In fact, let's do SimD and fibers. So, here's all my programs. We have 9 failed attempts at Fish AI. Or 9 attempts that I gave up on. I mean, is your CPU lagging? Shouldn't be. You went to see BTOP, by the way? There's my BTOP for you. But for now, I have to do this. But the stream might be. Eh. This one I will call SimD. We're gonna SimD today. File name. SimD.d. Audio lags. Oh, the audio lags? Let me check that shit. Audio lags? I don't know. I don't hear it. Maybe it's probably just something on... Oh? Tests. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't hear it on my end, so I think it's just on YouTube's end then. Sometimes your voice becomes robotized. Oh, well that was just me clicking the button though. Test. Like that was just a button to hear it for me. Let me check that it's not this is sad. Default. This better? This less broken? That less broken? I think that might be. I tested it for myself to hear. Anyway. Yeah, we'll just call this Sims 4. Sims 4.b. Yeah, yes, this is a game 2016. Ah, yeah, 2016. Let's see. We have vector math, by the way. Wowie. SimD. What about SimT? But I mean, I guess SimT would be fun. Vector math. So you could take like a big int, which is a 512, and then plop it into one of these. SimDIB. There's a lot of sections here to this thingus. XMM opcodes that confirm the following. Opcode XMML XMM2/mem and do not have side effects. Do not write to memory. Stoapida. You guys know I'm not a funny assembly programmer. If I was an assembly programmer, I'd be writing assembly. Move skipus. Movent DQ. Moventi. Movent Police Department. Movent Postal Service. Movent Q. Move Q2 DQ. Buffer size? I have no idea yet. Alright, so here, implementing core.standardc.standarddio. This is the real pain, is when you start implementing this, because then you have to learn the C printf bullshit. I hate printf, it hurts my brain cells. But that's just because I didn't start learning C, so core.simd. I say we can skip all of that lame stuff, but we can still do vector math. So, what are these though? These are like 2.23f and like, well, I guess that's just floats. He's got a vector size of 4 indexes. And so then he calls, or he has float for r equals a. And then underscore simd xmm.rcpps. Oh, so these just select what type, or what type of assembly operation you would like to use for your. We're also going to use the D variant of, well, we could implement standard CIO. It's probably better to implement that, but I would say that I'm going to stick to what I know, really. Well, if I want to learn printf, I gotta use the fucking standard CIO. Printf hurts me, though. Every time I use it, I'm like, this is how you would format it, though. Okay. Standard C.standard.dio, standard out, standard in out. We're gonna just do all of SimD. Let's go with printf. Try to make a program that's better C compatible You will use printf for it for sure. I'm going to put in my void main. So like, unlike C where you have like int main, which I've seen some C code, I don't really know much about C. I'm not the C master 500. I'm the D language master XXL though. Trust me, bro. I'm an expert at D-Lang if you want that. But otherwise, please, God forbid you show me C code and then say, learn C, by the way. Is float 4 C or D-Lang? Alias float 4? So for a vector function? Core.simd float 4. What? What? Float 4? SimD? Wowie. Float 4. Okay, so that's in this. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is for vector math. U-byte 16s. So let's go ahead and talk about OpenCL and uint 16 should be a thing. Or actually NPU FP16. There's floating point 16s. BF? Bruh, I'm so lame I wear an NPU t-shirt. I'm sorry. Thank you, NVIDIA. I mean, AMD. God damn it. How did AMD ruin it this time? Bro, AMD screwing up now. NVIDIA Processing Unit, isn't that? Bro, NVIDIA Processing Unit. That's what it's gonna stand for. Well, actually, NVIDIA does not even get in top 10 right now. It's actually AMD. AMD has top 10 for top 500. Two-stage NPU pipeline delivers high-res images of a guy wearing an NPU t-shirt, which stands for Node Processing University. Non-practicing university. Or, are these just AI-generated images of people wearing NPU t-shirts? God fucking damn it. Get that shit out of here. I mean, I guess it's pretty swank. I don't even know anymore. Oh, somebody updated it. And now they put the Pi one on here. They put the Halo one from the Pi. I remember when this used to be something else. Also, that's the Pi 5. That's the model I have. I don't have that shit, though. Because that shit was so lame, I didn't even bother buying a NPU, to be honest. Here we go. Practical people who don't put pictures of fucking AI-generated people who don't exist wearing floating point 16 or NPU t-shirts. Anyway. So, yeah, there's things that use FP16, FP32, int8, and int16. So those are things that exist, by the way. Just letting you know. Now, I don't really understand why people like to represent shit with float. If somebody knows, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to use... What the fuck is a void 16? Is void 16 able to do multiple void operations at once? Long 2. I guess if you need like a large integer type that is like 64 and then you're doing 2 longs at the... I think I understand how this works. This is doing 4 ints at once. That's 32 bits, 64 bits. Right? What is D language? D is a systems programming language. But you can do a lot of shit with it. You can do a lot of things. Pretty much any... It's like a general purpose language at this point, for me. So int 4, I think, is what we need to declare as. And int 4. This, I don't like that it's not highlighted. I like that it's when it's colored. Let's put int4 equals, why would you even put it as this? Why wouldn't you just do, like, something that makes sense, you know? Like, for example, SimD, my goat. Bro, I think SimD is really cool, but, like, why wouldn't you just put it as, like, for example, something other than, like, what if I want to do int4, and then I have to pack them down into it? But, like, why can't you just do, like, int4 like that? Anyway, we're just gonna do int4, and we'll call it, so I believe what this is 4 ints. Well, 4 by integer would be like tree noun. I have no idea. I have no idea what a tree noun is, but int 4 is like if you were to say like int 4 thingatron. Bezos. There we go. Int for Bezos. Fishinger's constant. Oh no, Fishenheimer. Yeah, Fishenheimer constants, bro. We're gonna do some science programming. And we're gonna say that it's equivalent to this. I believe it's equivalent to int for thingus, though they have to declare it like this so you can then perform the SimD operation. So you would declare your float for, we're calling my int, generate operand instruction with XM 128-bit operands. This is a compiler magic function. It doesn't behave like regular D functions. And I reiterate, I already understand like underscore G shared, but underscore sim D share. Oh god. Now I'm become Goldgish, destroyer of ecosystems. Yeah, I'm become WD Gold, Fishenheimer or something. Yeah, the Fishenheimer equation will consist of 7, -7, 531, and 200 cigarettes. Which, because the other 300 my friend needs, so of course we only get 200. That's the Fishenheimer equation. Fishenheimer constants. As of this time, a joke constant. Continuing to the next step. Here he says float for R equals A. He's on the assembly grind set because if I were to declare float for R equals A, oh well, I changed it up. It was gonna be float. It was gonna be 531, but then I was like, 532. Because if I have 7, that's my odd number, so I need an even number. Oh, now that I think about it, this needs to be, let's go with 239. It's a more solid number. I like 239 the best. And let's see, int 4. Cast float for SimD XMM. And he calls printf. So he declares that int for dupe. Dupe. equals Fischenheimer. And since we're using Fischenheimer, let's do dupe equals y. Why would you set it equals to that? But anyway, dupe equals cast. I guess int4 since I chose int4 instead of float. Underscore underscore simd xmm dot rcc. Actually, verify what rccps is. Template vector t. Create a vector type. So yeah, I need to also implement simd as well. So simd. I hope that actually, it probably should just be in the compiler. I think it's just in the compiler, this underscore underscore simd piece. But he then calls rcpps, which might have been the actual type of simd. XMM opcode. Oh no, templates. Yeah, this is when things get spooky. I mean, at this point, I might as well learn the assembly for simd operations. SIMD XMM RCPSS. We'll just call it the same way. Sure, it can't go wrong, guys. Dupe, comma, Fischenheimer. And then we'll do our printf, which is done with not those, because we need to use else. I think. I'm pretty sure you use L's in C, because the first part of this, printf, is to do your formatting and shit. It's going to end in the /n, how he has it, because unlike the way I've done this before, where I've done this before, kind of. I just put the /n at the beginning because I'm a jackass, and I want a new line before each one, apparently. But apparently you can just put it inside the line, so that makes a lot of sense. I'm not really a C programmer super often, but today I have to be. I am become C programmer. Destroyer of C++. See what we get. Oh god. I'm a 34-year-old C++ programmer. But I already feel like an old man. Does anybody else feel this way? He has become depression. Python, VHDL, C, C#, the maxing program, truly. Destroyer of memory. Yeah. Let me just turn off the GC and alloc all of the memory. The sentiment of a C programmer viewing C++ as destructive is a long-standing perspective, often rooted in C++'s complexity, memory management, and overhead. What? What are you talking about? Doesn't C++... What does C++ memory management look like? C++ memory management? W3 schools. Teach me some C++ memory management. For normal variables, C++ takes care of memory for you. What do you want to... Yeah, it's pretty much like C. C you could do like scopes, apparently, I think. I think you do like scopes in C. It's kind of like a... compiler. Bro, let me... Yeah, look at that shit, bro. I'm a C++ pro. What is the output of the following code? Double my double. C out size of my double /n. What does it mean? What is the output? C out? What is C out? Why are we shifting things though? What the fuck? Anyway, I guess I should take a C proficiency test for my next stream then. This is actually pretty interesting. This would be a fun idea. Double my double. Oh, is it asking for the size in, I'm guessing, bytes, which would be 8 for double, probably. If your program uses assume that it forgets to clean up memory, yes. Damn, bro, I gotta share it on X so Elon knows how I'm doing, bro. Cooking on this shit. Drag the correct keyword to allocate memory for, whoa, isn't it Malik? What the fucking shit? Alok? Is it new? That was my, like, first suspicion. Of course it's new. No, that's C++. Alright, what's next? What is C out? I immediately remembered Terry Davis's quote, Lamau. Bro, like what is C out, bro? I'm looking at this going, why are we moving things into C out doing bit shifts? Bro, this is some crazy shit. New and delete. New, okay, so we have int pointer. That makes some sense. So it's going to take an address of new int. And then this is going to set the pointer to the int equals to 50. And then it's going to print it using count. Yeah. And then an address. Oh, wait, actually it'd be 50. Because they said it, you wouldn't have an address unless you had a and pointer. I don't know the dash though. I think it's like a pipe, kind of. It's like, I want to write my code from left to right, but I'm going to pipe all of the stuff on the right side to the left side. It's like English, but like if you wrote it left to right, but you read it right to left. It's like a pipe almost, I think. The keyword used to free memory, free. That's the D-lang answer. Okay, then, clear. Okay, then it's remove. Because I know for a fact you can't delete memory. You can't, look, my RAM is a physical object. I'm not deleting my RAM. Wait, what? They're all wrong? I swear to God I put 3 the first time. Okay, it's delete then. What the fuck? I'm not deleting my memory. Yeah, basically, it's just a flow function or something. Like, you ask for an input, you need to use... Honestly, C++ might be also pretty sweet. It is free in C-Law. It's also free in D-Lang. You can do manual memory in D-Lang, and it's just free. Hello. I'm taking my C++ IQ test. Bro, I should take my IQ test next. That's what I should do. That should be like the next stream we do. Instead of fucking around with SimD, we need to figure out how smart fish is. Anyway, I need to print F for... What was I needing to print F for? It was like... Sorry, we'll finish that up in a bit. I'm taking a little bit of a slight programming break before we fry my brain with Fortran later and everything. What on earth is this? Okay, so it wants dupe.array, and it wants those of 0. Pretty sure it's delete because C++ is OOP. Yeah, but you still use free and D-Lang. They just wanted to be... They were just like, yeah, I don't know what word to put, so I'm going to name this this memory function delete. And we're going to have delete clear the memory. And yeah, it will be awesome. Awesome. Clearly. Dupe.array 0. So this is just an array, like I was saying. I'm pretty sure it's equivalent to int4 thingus. Okay, so... This is how you write all of the indexes of an array in C. I guess this is better C compatible. If this is, then Walter Bright just taught me C-Lang in one simple step called make SIMD, and of course I'm addicted to SIMD. If you hand me a GPU, I'll tell you I'm addicted to SIMT, as long as it's not super proprietary and doesn't fry my brain cells. Time to add in the percents. So we need to look for CLang. CLang printf formats. Ah, here we go. AI has the answer for us today. I hate using AI, but this is C, so I can give an exception for, since should be like pretty easy to find anyway. Fuck that shit. I'm not going to the CLang website. I'm not helping them get more C.org views. We're gonna make better C the next C, okay? Better C is the best C. I'll even compile this with better C if it's possible. Well, actually it would be. I did use printf and a core feature of d-lang, so octal, single character, pointer, literal. Ah, so it is just I. In one of them, it was like I for double, or like something like that, for long. I was like, bro, how the hell? %I, 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 and %I. I. Mine. Like Nemo with, I don't know why I'm thinking that. My brain just void. My brain cast a void. Alright, so it should be compilable. Oh shit. C++ is the only current language making COBOL look good. And then for Java, tuning the JVM always felt like trying to fly a plane from the backseat of another plane, following behind the first. Dave Sheeny and Bertrand Meyer. CD d_lang and then /sim. No, it's sim4. Simd sims4.d. Oh, okay. DMD sims4.d. Standard IO. Standard CIO. Shouldn't be standard. It should be that. Maybe I am dumb. I am become dumb, destroyer of... I put standard.standard. It's core. But because this is a core thing, it's using core stuff. Core substances. Oh my god, the JVM sucks. No JRE maker or anything. Undefined identifier __ SIMD. Wowie. __ SIMD then. I get that this might be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't know if I comes before S. Screw it. The only reason I care is because I like to have good syntactically looking good code. Okay. XMM. Honestly, the way I see it, it's a core thing. It's probably already imported anyway, most of the time, so... Oh, hey, let me show you all. This is better C compatible. Oh, shit. Oh, actually, that's probably because I just didn't extern C. That's a label that extern C, by the way. So I assume... Alright, now you would do it with -O. You would do, actually, LDC2 and -O gives you the maximum velocity that your program can go. The world's highest speed program right here. This is Formula 1 car. Wait, does LDC2 not support SIMD? Or do I need to target, You know what, just do DMD. Fuck it. DMD apparently worked. And there we go, that's what happens when you take a dupe of Fishenheimer and you add the two together. Although, what if I set dupe and this is the result of a SIMD operation right there. You can see 532, -7, and 7. I don't know why 7 is such a huge number, but I guess that's okay. It did work. And it's the same number every time, so it's not a random number. I don't know what this code is doing. I think I just multiplied a number by every other number. That is one operation, though, which you'd expect with SIMD is like one operation. So, oh right, and if we do it properly, we would throw the better C in there. That will give you the maximum time. So here's a timing comparison for the SIMD operation. 0. Literally no seconds at all, but if you were to do like just a regular DMD compile, you import so much other shit too. We'll even compare them at the end probably. So /. This one's gonna be always a little bit slower. C1 on the user end. But I can kind of feel how slow it is. Like I've programmed enough to like feel like there's a bit of delay in that. I mean, anytime I hit it, it's like kind of a bit of delay, slight bit, and it's kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and do obj dump for dash. Should be H for headers. This is all the stuff you import with a dlang program. This is mostly better C though. Although these are for like linking. So when you do linking, you have all of these. And you have a stack. You have a bunch of stuff. I don't know what it is. You have an init. You should have a text, row data, data. Those are the ones I know from like OS dev stuff. Those are the ones that you have. So you have a text section. So we're going to put all your code at. You have a BSS, which is your memory stuff, like your stack and heap. You're going to have a CTRS and a DCTRS. Constructors and deconstructors. Because it is a object-oriented language, you should have both of those. Now, kind of makes me think about C# for some reason, but I'm kind of curious now. What does C# have in it? Anyway, so yeah, we just did that. So let's go ahead and recompile it. And maybe we should do compiler time tests. Obviously, LDC will lose to DMD. Also, these look like some kind of square roots. I'm not sure what those are. These are addresses, I think. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our better C program. And obj dump has less. No, it has the same amount. Oh. Well, that one, yeah, it has less. 4 less. Has dynamic. Has a note for ABI tag, which means it runs on the C backend. Or CABI. Something like that. All of the rest of this is pretty much the same. You're going to still have that text, row data. All that's just assembly stuff. Let's do -O. This is for the better C program. And this dumps out... Oh, didn't Actually, I think it's T. That'd be something. Yeah, this one. I don't remember what this one is done. Oh, this is symbols. Symbol table. And you only have this many symbols, okay? This is better C with extern C and all of that. I think if you took off the extern C... What's up? Welcome. Hello, laggy brain. You want to see NVIDIA Gate? I'll take you to NVIDIA Gate, bro. It's the future right there. Sorry, I had to do that. Now everybody knows that we have NVIDIA Gate on this computer. They're gonna all be asking me to play NVIDIA. And I don't want to play the Elder Scrolls 4 NVIDIA today. I just want to program. Anyway. Also, I think if you took off extern C, makes a lot of the code very different. Although it's only a few functions right there. Alright, so we're gonna then recompile it with I think it would increase the amount of headers you have a lot. Extern C though, probably if you're just doing it with the doing better C, shouldn't have that much of a change. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, a lot more stuff in this one. A lot more symbols. And that's because of the garbage collector. You end up with all of these symbols inside your final file. You don't need all of these. And this is without the -O. However, I reckon compiling with -O will remove a lot of these, since it does optimize for most compilers for D-Lang. So let's do -O and compile that way, and then do an obj dump. Let's see if that changed it. It probably did change a little bit, but you still see that all of this exists. And that's why, you know, you don't need all of this. And I think that's a problem with the D compilers, that, like, what if I don't use any of this? I think that's something that should be improved on. That's, like, my advice for the next D compilers is, if not needed, don't include it. Because, obviously, don't need all of that. But also, here's some interesting stuff. So let's say you have this, like D4 core, 8 internal. I think this is just from core SimD maybe or something. But you have a bunch of these different things, and they got D4 core, D2. That's a name mangling thing. So you have name mangling. So I think you can do objump-t or objdump-t dash mangle, and it should give you like C++ headings or something like that. I don't remember. There's a whole video from this Indian guy on objdump, so he probably knows more than I do on that, honestly. Pretty cool. Now let me go finish my C++ test before it's Fortran o'clock, and then we'll continue. If you forget to delete memory allocated with new, it can cause a memory leak. Yes. Well, also if you have pointers that reference it later or something like that. What does the following code do? Int pointer, delete pointer. So it allocates for the new int, creates a pointer that allocates memory to new int, and then sets the pointer to equal 42, and then deletes the pointer. But allocates memory for an integer, stores 42, and frees memory. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's say this is void. Well, hold on. String. Is it void or return? This is a C++ of all time. Oh, functions? Oh, wow, I'm learning C++, guys. Let's see, int main, return 0. Bro, I don't even know C++, and I'm able to figure out functions. Let's see, we want to call void greets. What do you mean wrong answer? Return. Oh, right. Call greet, not void greet. What am I, fucking stupid? What is a function in C++? A block of code that runs when called. Create a function named myFunction. Sudo pacman SYU. Fortran. Bro, do they have a Fortran on W3 schools? Oh god, we'll be Fortrans maxing. Fortrans. Int main. Call my function 2 times. What? Who is... Who needs this? See, I would try to program C++, but like, if I did that, I'd not even know much of the standard libraries and stuff. Also, C++ kind of lame. But it is in the C ecosystem. The C ecosystem. Wonder how many of these I'm gonna do by the end of the day, though. Bro, C++, not gonna lie, I might keep doing these. These are actually kind of fun. Which syntax correctly declares a function that returns nothing and it takes no parameters? My function void void my function code with the parentheses. You can't do without it. Next question. These are easy though. Just finished writing. I send it on Discord. Slang. The ecosystem. You can't, once you're in this ecosystem, you're stuck until you touch Fortran. Wowie. Minimal independent XBPS. Bro, this is so cool. It is the ultimate rice. What the hell? Oh yeah, I have Discord, by the way. Should I drop the link? Boom. Here. Enjoy. Wow, void ricing. Bro, we don't see much void ricing. I don't know if that's a good link or if that will even work, but have fun with that. What is variable that function that receives data? Add fname parameter of type string. String tab fname. It took me 5 hours to write. Damn. Let's see. Multiple parameter. Bro, this shit's like... This is like zombie programming. This is sign in to track your progress. Damn, bro. I wonder if they give you like a certificate that says you are now certified in W3 school C++. Let's see if I can just use my Google account. Sign into W3 schools. Thank you, Google. No code, no verifier cookie found. Okay, fine. I'll just keep this tab open forever, and then I'll have it for there forever. Unless we just speedrun how fast I can do the C++ W3 schools exercises. You guys got Fortran on this shit? They got HTML, CSS, JavaScript, CQL, SQL, Python, Java, PHP, W3, CSS, C, C++, C Sharp, how to Bootstrap, React, MySQL, Excel, XML, Django, NumPy, Pandas, Node.js, DSA, TypeScript, Angular, AngularS, ASP, AI, AI. Wowie. Wow. This is cool. They got all the flavors. Maybe we'll study this shit. W3 Schools AI. Oh shit, this will be the guidebook to how we build fish AI. That's it. We're gonna simulate the human brain using all the computers I have. Yeah. But I wanna see where, wait, they have R? Bro. Become R certified? Damn, dude, I might do that at some point. This is one of them science computing languages, bro. Like Fortran. R is pretty cool. Let me tell you about Rlang. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted a lot today. But we're going to get into the Fortran after I find out if they have a Fortran course on their website so I can test my Fortran skills as a noob Fortrainer. Neural network fish AI. Yeah, we'll definitely check out W3 Schools more often, bro. I had no idea that shit's actually pretty cool. That shit makes me, I'm geeking for some of that. Serves as a dialect of the S language now and is now managed by the R team. Bro, I'm putting that in there. Become R certified? Yes, I will do that eventually. But probably not for the channel. Although it would look pretty cool. Kotlin? I know there's a Kotlin compiler that compiles to machine code. Bro, you can get Well, actually, W3 Schools is so awesome, though. Generative AI. Wowie. Cool, I'll check it. What's Vue? Bro, look at their selections of languages, though. Does this just become a W3 Schools stream? Of course, they have Rust. Let's see. D-Lang. Can I get my D-Lang certification? Please? Run. You know what else has that? Like fucking Kubernetes does, bro. You can also do Kubernetes certifications. Intro to programming. I guess they actually are just like an actual school then. I'm not sure why I didn't think they were an actual school. I thought they were just, I don't know. Get a bash certificate. Oh my god. Keck, no D-Lang. Yeah, I'm the D-Lang certifier. Certifier. Yeah, you gotta go through me to become D-Lang certified. Nah, actually, there is people out there who, like, are actually cooler, bro, at D-Lang. But R-Lang? They have R? I can't believe they have R before they have Go. Or, like, Rust. I guess Rust is just so shitty they put it at the bottom as well. I mean, they have Rust, though. That's fucking... How many... Well, let's look through their certificates. HTML, C, C++, C Sharp. I know a friend who can do C Sharp, bro. jQuery. Go. Become a certified Bash developer. Master Bash and earn a credential that proves it for $95. Kotlin? What's the pricing for if I become a Russian Kotlin developer? Everybody who programs Kotlin that I know is a Russian. I only know Russians who program Kotlin. They all do it on JVM. AKA Life of Boris programs Kotlin, and it's the only guy who I know who does that. So it must be like Java, but like... Is this C++ or am I fucking blind? Oh shit. It's C++. I thought it was a C++ minus for a second. Here, let's fix that. Let's make it C++. Oh, but we already covered C minus minus. I can't just bring it up again. But for $95, become a certified one of those developers. Let's see about C++. Exercises. Wowie. Wowazua. Certificates. Let's see what a C certificate costs. Whoa. Oh, $95? So, like, I don't know. I don't know who would take a W3 schools certificate. I don't even work in, like, anything related to C++ or, like, any programming. I just do this for fun. I'm surprised they don't have Fortran. As a Fortraner, I'm a bit peeved they don't have it. Anyway, let's go to Fortran so we can do some actual cool stuff like Fortraning. So I have a folder, it's called cd home /Fortran /hello world, which is all my example code. And then let's go ahead and ls. I want to do an obj dump on hello. Let's get headers and let's get the other things. Are you K Serioso among us? Oh wait, age. All $95, but D-Link free. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of... They have interp... They have a bunch of, like, the same stuff as, like, when you see in the D-Link one. Like, the D-Link one has interp as well. I seen that in the D-Link one. So it must be, like, from typical compiler stuff. So, after we so it compiles like you print your certificate yourself. Bruh, W3 school certificates, bro. That's crazy. That'd be insane. That'd be a waste though. That'd be a waste to do it. At that point, why? We don't need W3 school certification to build a massive data center. You know what I mean? T. Wow, pretty lightweight. I like Fortran. That's actually a Fortran, bro. Talk about high performance code. That's some high performance code right there. Compare that to like a typical D file where you have like bloat. D-Lang is like obesity. D-Lang is like Nikocado avocado. Before he lost all the weight, bro. That's what D-Lang is. It's inversion. Maybe I'm gonna become a Fortran developer permanently. Let's see. Also, this is not the same as whatever we just dumped. Oh, but I saw a guy who did this. He was taking his first look at Fortran. It was what's his name? The guy who programs D, who isn't me, but he's also a popular D programmer. And he does it for like a university, like teaches D-Lang at a university. But he took a look at Fortran as well. Not like a... He took like an introductory look. Like, I feel like that's a great thing to do with any language, is to look at it and like get an idea of the syntax and get an idea of like what it has. And then just kind of learn a little bit about it, because then you can look at what you can do with your own language and see... mailing list. Subscribe to our mailing list to discuss anything related. Bro, if you had me discussing with you all, I don't know. I feel like I would be like the least Fortrainer of all time, bro. I program D-Lang most of the time. Compilers. Flang. Current Flang is based on the NVIDIA PGI commercial one. Hello. What a funny name, bro. What's up? What's cooking? You like Fortran too? Intel 1 API. I like things that start with 1. The NVIDIA HPC SDK. HPE Cray compiling environment. AMD. They have one as well. Bro, there's an ARM Fortran compiler. You got your Bro, if you got a Sun Microsystems Sunfire server. Bro, look at those things. Not those ones. Those ones look fucking dumb. But there's a guy who has these in a bunch of videos. Klebetro. Wowie. Look at that shit. That's a Sunfire server, and I think they go for like fucking $2 bajillion usually. Sunfire V2. Damn, bro, that's actually a pretty low price. But is that the front part only? Also, that looks off-brand. Why is it not purple? Is this Windows XP theme or something? Oh, no, this is Arch Torvalds theme. I'll show you in a second. When I minimize every tab. But wow, they actually do still have Sunfire servers. But yeah, I guess you could do Oracle Sun compiling for Spark chips. Spark and x86 systems. So think ancient and obsolete for those ones. Fortran and supports many features of the Fortran 2008 LCC. Where's the CERN compiler? HPC Cray probably. You have a lot of compilers. I hope they don't have their own syntax and weird things going on. Here, I'll show you my theme now. How do you like Arch Torvalds, bro? In fact, if Arch Torvalds is good, then I will show you the NVIDIA gate, which you can see here. NVIDIA gate exists, and right next to NVIDIA gate is Arch Linux. Well, actually Todd Linux. And in Todd Arch, well, above Todd Arch exists Aperture Labs Linux, and we have AI Sloppenheimer on this side, Sloppenberg, with Slop Tux, and then we have Arch Chan, and then we have the main desktop. Torvald would never touch Arch. Yeah, because Ubuntu is too complicated. But we can't insult him in such a way. Maybe he would totally touch Arch if he could figure out how to touch Arch. Let's see. LLVM Flang, Intel 1 API. Interesting. What is NAG again? NAG Atomic Operations and Tasks. We are Fedora forever. Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to make you use Arch or something. Learn Fortran. I've already set up my OS, but there's the quick start tutorial. Then it takes you to here. And I'm on arrays, by the way. So let me go to arrays. I think we just finished arrays, and we hit this thing. So this thing says an array of strings, and then it says a bunch of stuff about that. And there's like operator. Yeah, we got this shit. So we just wrote that shit. And then we tried compiling, and it said, you cannot compile Amogus Bobby. Or something. And I'm like, oh god, we can't compile Amogus Bobby. And let's go through line by line and lint it. So, I like Fedora, but I fall to Void. Void good, by the way. Do you use Musel backend for the libc? Alright, so I have this, right? Do I put a apostrophe? What? What the hell is that? Hold on one second. That doesn't look right. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wait, do I put LEN? Yeah, I do. It's 3. What? Why would LEN be 3? LEN is 10. Well, actually, bad motivation. Character 10. Wait, but like, still. I guess, oh, because the lengths of the characters wouldn't be that. Let's just put like 10. It's in a location of the length. Once the 10 characters for each. I think Jimothy is probably 10. So, that's how you would do that. Let's go ahead and try it out. Let's do... Let's do... Dot slash... What am I doing again? Sorry, sometimes G4tran. And arrays F90. And then we'll do -O arrays. Let's see, contains unexpected contains statement at 1. So that's the first issue. It doesn't have any issues with those. Maybe I have it in the wrong order. Call, show, keys, comma, vowels. And then there's a random contains there. It's a containment breach. Call show keys. So we have show imposters sus contains show a imposters and a sus. So that's correct. There is a contains there in their code. Then when we do this, these aren't in the correct length. I think they have to be aligned by 2. I don't think you just tab to indent. I think you have to do 2. Which is kind of something that might be a case. If it's this sensitive and really annoyed at me that it has to be aligned by 2 or something like that, then my brain is gonna be, well, it shouldn't care that much. Let's space them back. Those are fine. Those will be fine. Let's try this. Let's put this outside of there. Because that's the end of the program anyway, so. No block for that one. So we just drop that into here. There we go. That should fix it. Let's see. Here we go. Once the declaration after executable statements. So we're going to move this one. This might just have to be its own program. Anyway, we're going to move this to the top. If I can get it up there, would be really nice. Bro, how the hell? Let's cut this. Let's redo the... Right, and then let's make a new one. Paste it. We'll hold that there for now. Save this one. Compile. That's going to be fine. So now let's test that dot/erase has no exceptions. Which does the erase stuff. Let me get some examples of that. And then we'll make a new Fortran file. So all you need to do for this one is program and then end program. Thingus. Actually, yeah, I think you can just make the program name Thingus. And it will just know that it's the main entry point for the program. Implicit none. That's kind of the most important part. If you don't have that, then it will just be able to go like, dimension is an int. It can just do that. Kind of like how Haskell can kind of tell if you have a float or something. But in Haskell, there is no data type. Like Haskell is like there is no data type, bro. I feel like Haskell is the language that fucking... the shittiest language of all time, bro. I hate functional programming. It's like the fucking scourge of the earth, bro. I swear to God. But, like, it has its use for, like, putting shit up super fast. Save as amogus.f90. That's why I didn't really do that many Haskell videos. I did like one where I tried. Or maybe I did it during one of my other streams. I think it was this weekend. I did a stream on it. I have an idea, but I don't know programming. /arrays. Let's see. Wait, what am I doing? My brain is off. God damn it. Amogus -o Amogus. Oh, look at that, it just worked. So I don't know how to do blocks, probably. Or I could have done it as a module. So we have Bobby Amogus 21 Jimothy. Which I guess would be the, kind of associative array thing, I guess. The A imposters of I and the Asus of I. What do you mean about how I fall to Void? I love Void Linux, full of control, and I like power. I'm also in Fedora right now, and I love it. Everything works with no need to worry about broken update stuff. Yeah, that's fair. I like, if I had to choose like a simple OS, I'd go Catchy. Catchy, my simple OS. It's like, I'd recommend Catchy to beginners too. Catchy's easy, bro. Catchy is like easy arch. Easy arch. If you want to become an arch maxer like Fish, just use Catchy OS. But, it's also really good because it's got like the kernel upgrades and shit that make it go fast. Like Catchy. Alright, so that's the program. So let's get started on the next section of the book. The book of Fortrans. So you can become a Fortrans maxer. Max out your Fortrans. Arrays and strings, operators, and flow control. Here's where the fun start begins. One of the powerful advantages of programming computer algorithms compared to simple mathematical formulae comes in the form of programming branching, whereby a program can decide which instructions to execute next based on a logical condition. There are two forms of controlling program flow. Tried Arch, but I was taking such time trying this and that. Yeah, that's fair. Tests for equality of two operands. Alright, so we got logical operators. Tests for... Like, this took a long time to set up. The FEW M3 and all that. It took a long time. So that was like... that's kind of why I can understand it. Test for inequality is a slash equals. Now this is like in D-Lang, if you wanted to divide something by itself, you would do slash equals. So that's probably going to confuse me. If I see a slash equals, I'm going to be like, what is this? Division? Divide by itself. Test if operator is strictly greater than right operand. Less than... Oh, strictly less or strictly greater. So that means it can't be equal to. Is that just some science bullshit? Then we have left operator is equal to right is greater than or equal to, and the opposite. So then we have... So if you want equals equals, you can do equals equals. But you can also do dot EQ dot. So if you're used to like some kind of like weird assembly syntax, I guess that exists. Although I think it might be Pascal. Pascal dot EQ dot. Let's see. Pascal's law. Pascal's law states that change in pressure. Bro, we need like a formula to put in my formula translation language. Oh, here we go. If you want to calculate pascals. Okay, so then we have these, as well as the following logical operators. Both are true. These basically allow you to splice two of these together. So if you have two equal statements and you wanted to say, if this one and that one are equal, we can do our code. Or maybe you have an equals and a not equals, which you don't have that in this language. So you just do a not. You would do like equals, probably not. I'm not even sure. We'll try out all of them. If the angle is less than 90, print angle is acute, and if. Let's try to write my Fortran code then. We're gonna create some great code today. Program Fortrans. End program Fortrans. I have heard that this translates really well to like high performance computing stuff. So let's go ahead and add an if statement. If 1 plus 2 equals 3, let's do dot EQ instead. I like that better. Because I think that's the more old version. End if. So you always end everything you do. And then let's do print C print that. Yes, 3 is 1 plus 2. Alright, there we go. That should be a pretty simple program. Save as eval .f90. So let's see, we have a .eq, so like, I feel like if you write assembly code, you write some shit like this if you use NASM. Depends on what type. Obviously, you're not always gonna be using the same type of assembly syntax for every assembler. Each one is fucking unique, so assemblers are like the amount of Fortran compilers you got. Got your ARM, well actually you have GCC, NASM, MASM, and a bunch of other ones for different purposes. Pretty sure LLVM is just good, and I like LLVM. Well, actually, there is an LLVM assembly. That's the one I want to learn next, probably. I think LLVM assembly is preferable to, like, all these other fucking syntaxes. The project name is word bullets. Alright, eval. So let's see, it says syntax error and if clause. Let's see exactly what it says in the Fortran website. Ah, you need to have a then. I did not realize I need to have then. Well, you might have don't. What if there's a don't option? Like, if 1 plus 2 equals 3, don't print yes is 1 plus 3. Else, maybe you'd have an else. What if there's an else, bro? Ooh. That's. Alright, so /eval. Let's make this more advanced. Let's add in a. Let's try to call a module. Let's do module. And then we're going to try to make a block as well. Since I like to do that one for the building muscle memory of what it is. You have a module, and you have an end module. This one is the hard part, like when you try to import a module, it kind of confuses me sometimes. Let's do the classic. Actually, let's do more. So then you would have a block here. So the block is pretty much a scope, as we've figured out. And then we do this. Use more, comma, and I don't remember the rest. So I'm going to check out this one, which has, we'll just put in like something pretty simple. And we'll also try to include a program. Yeah, a subroutine. Actually, a subroutine has to be called in a program. That's what it is, by the way. Subroutines have to be called in a program. That's actually really cool. I feel like this translates super good if you were to put it to assembly. And you know me, I'm a system kind of guy, so sometimes I do dabble in the evil assembly code. Even if I think it's fucking disgusting, which it is. You shouldn't write code in pure assembly because it will hurt your brain cells. But actually that makes your brain cells strong, bro. My brain is built like Incredible Hulk with Fortran and D-Line. Implicit none. Right. But we use hello, comma, only, colon. That's your selective import. Use more, and then you would do a selective import, which would be only, colon, and then a symbol. So we could do module or implicit none. Technically, this would mean that you could import an implicit none. For example, like you could import like an implicit none into a non-implicit none program, or vice versa. I think you could probably do that. I wonder if we could do that here for example. Or you have a block that's implicit and the rest is not. We'll see if that affects anything. Then recall how this is done. So you have integer, colon, integer, name. So declare. So integer. This also would be like, you could have like modules for different things. For example, declaration could be a module. Initialization. Well, I wouldn't do that, but you could probably do it. Integer colon the sun number, and then we can do, yeah, let's do only number. Let's set number equals 3. I'm in a 3 mood today. Let's see. Print asterisk comma number. Oh, and it did compile. Yes, is 1 plus 2, and that said 3. I don't know why it puts all those spaces before that, like the tab, like it indents and goes 3. But awesome, that's my import. But I wonder if you could be like, alright, so let's have a subroutine then. Let's try a subroutine. Let's say I have a subroutine and subroutine. Pretty much functional programming, well, not functional, but like a function from imperative programming style, paradigm, however you call it. Let's have a subroutine called 3. Let's do, and it would also be in here that I set up a subroutine. Actually, no, it was a Mogus. So in the subroutine, it has that, and you do like a typical one of these. This is the new stuff we learned yesterday, by the way. So you will take 2 values, which will be the fucking A, comma, B. Let's take A and B and put them in. Alright, so we got A and B. Let's get rid of this one. I don't think I need it. And we're going to take A and B. We're going to put them into... Oh, do we need to have an integer with our shit too? Yeah, you do need to declare those down here. So you do that as well. Integer colon A comma B, which is a declaration that both are integers. No, technically if you have an array, you declare an array. So we're going to do that. And then we do A equals A plus B. That's one way of doing it. And then you can call it. So A equals A plus B, and then print C. Well, actually, you would have also C. A equals... Actually, you would do C. C equals A plus B. This is like an actual formula. Wow. Print asterisk comma C. That's a formula in Fortran right there. Alright, contains would be right here. end module. Whoa, why are they together, bro? You click this one, it highlights contains. Huh. Let's try the G-Fortran. Oh, it compiled. So that only uses the number. Let's go ahead and put a block down here. And add an end block so I can see if I can call that. So you would use more, comma, only, colon, and then you'd call whatever your function name was. Let's say 3 for example, and then we're going to do 2 plus 4, and it's going to give me 6. I really like these numbers. Cool. This is a pretty basic program, but we'll be able to call, oh, actually, what? Call 3, and then 2 plus 4. 2 plus 5. Change it up. No more multiples of 3. Let's do a 7. I like 7. It's a good number. Throw that shit in there, and then compile. And here we go. Missing actual argument for B at 1. Wowie. Oh, here we go. Comma. I'm actually surprised that's the only error it threw. 7. Ooh. I am become Fortraner. Wowie. This is good stuff. Now, I wonder if you could get a subroutine that, like, returns a value instead of printing it. But I haven't been explained this yet. So, let's add another subroutine. Let's try adding 2 subroutines. Let's call, let's add another subroutine. And we'll call it increments by 2. And that means I'll have to add a do block. Plus, plus. We'll add a, and we're gonna do integer, colon, colon, a, comma, c for my return value. C equals, or do, and that's a do loop. But I don't know if a do loop is what I need. I don't even know anything about the loops in Fortran, really. So end subroutine plus plus. But does Amogus do that? Yes. So you should name the end subroutine because it's good practice, according to master Fortraners themselves. I'm not sure how it compiled without that. I guess it's just like he made a mistake, but it's fine. We don't care. C equals a plus a. A equals a plus a. We don't even need a C value. Plus plus. Let's just see if we can have 2 and use a in one of them. Because a is initialized up here. Let's see if it can be redeclared and reinitialized down here in another one that does the exact same thing. And we'll create another module so I can practice more module stuff, since I really need to get that down. That's kind of something I'm bad at. We'll try some array stuff in a module. That one works. 7. Well, I didn't even put it in a using. So we'll do another, we'll try 2. We'll use this, and we'll use plus plus. Alright, let's call, call plus plus, and we're going to take the number 1, and we're going to plus plus it a bunch of times, okay? Actually, let's do 4, since it will be obvious that it just plussed itself, like doubled. Actually, that would be double, and that is doubling itself. Invalid memory reference. For what? A plus A? Also, that stack trace is crazy. Like, it takes a minute to do the whole stack trace thing. Or back trace. I'm sorry, this ain't Java, but we don't have stack traces in Fortrans. We have back traces. Receive signal. SIGSEV. Segmentation fault. Invalid memory reference. This is beautiful. I love when this happens. Main underscore underscore. Oh, that's a symbol with the address 561. That makes sense, though. Here's the thing. So with these languages, usually 561, or like these, the first two indexes are always going to be 5 for a function. And then here we have a module, or something like that. 5, 6. This is a readable backtrace, unlike dealing. I think this is appreciable. Clearly the scientists who made this shit are good. In main, and I think main is Fortrans. Wow. So for 4 to do plus plus, I think maybe the memory reference is one of these, reference to these, or the value of A be incremental. Let's try this with, yeah, you can take A, but let's try having D equals this. Oh, let's do C, though. Let's try C, comma C. I wonder if it'd be because this has that, or if I can just keep trying to do it with these. Doesn't complain at, yeah, it just was like trying to return A in print, but A equaled itself. So this is just doubling itself, not plus-plussing itself. I mean, I guess it is plus-plussing, but that's pretty cool. It's actually pretty neat. Let's take, let's make this 16 so I can recognize that it's 32 or something. Let's do 27. I think it's a valid number. 54. Nice. Let's create another module for some array stuff. Module and module. Let's call this one array. Array. Let's do that. Implicit none on this one. And I'm not going to implicit none in this main one because you don't need to do it, technically. And we're calling from implicit modules. I'm not sure what impact that has. Somebody more knowledgeable can tell me that, I'm sure. So we're going to import this. We're going to be like, contains some other stuff. Contains some functions geometry. We're going to call subroutine. Forward. Actually, yeah. Let's look at arrays again. Open F90 arrays. Arrays.f90. So in arrays.f90 we have a bunch of different array operations. We have a reverse. We have some vector stuff. Printing out vectors and things. I'm just gonna try iterating through. Let's do like a fizzbuzz where you have to do like 3 and then 5 and then 15. So you have to identify 3 numbers, right? So we need to identify 3 numbers. We have an index of numbers. We need to initialize from 0 to 100, for example. Let's say I want the numbers from, well, also you could do primes too. That's another challenge to do. If you're trying to learn a language like this, you can try to do primes or doing the fizzbuzz where you have to do fizz for the number 5 or 3, buzz for 5, and then that's for like multiples too. So like if you have 10, that's a fizz. Well, no, that's a buzz. 5 is a buzz. 3 is a fizz. 6 is a fizz. 9 is a fizz. So we'd have to identify if a number which should be able to be done with an eval. Which, let's call this module fizzbuzz then. Module fizzbuzz. Let's not do array stuff. That's gonna hurt my brains because I need to review arrays on my own probably. Subroutine fizzbuzz. Yes, let's call that fizz, and we'll call it from the main space. End subroutine. This kind of gets annoying after a while, writing out end subroutine buzz or fizz or whatever. This will confuse the hell out of me. We'll also need one for the other, but for now. So fizz will check if a number is equal to. We'll create the array, right? So the first step is creating the array. We need to pass an array. So the array is going to be... But all this has to happen at the same time. So fizz has to identify if the number's 5, 3, whatever. So let's take, for example... Damn, bro. I don't think I know enough Fortran to write fizzbuzz yet. Well, what other things could I do? I mean, I guess I could just do, like, an array thing. I don't know. Yeah, this is fun. Or... let's ignore that for now. We'll save that for a future episode when I'm more competent enough to think of how I would do that. Because I don't even know enough of the operators, really. We need to do more math operators, really. Yeah. Logical expressions. Actually, we can do it. What am I saying? Alright, so... fizz is when A equals... We'll do it with the equals instead of using the dot EQ like we do here. So if A equals 3, A divided by 3 divided by 1, yeah, divided by 3 equals 1, which would mean true, then... What am I? Oh, what the hell am I? I am jackass. I am writing code like this. End if. We'll just do a bunch of if statements since I'm pretty noob at this shit. If A divided by 5 equals then this shit, oh my god, this is the worst fizzbuzz of all. Bro, if I wrote fizzbuzz again in D-Lang, bro, we'd be cooking. I'd have it multi-threaded too. I would split the array, the indexes we're gonna fizzbuzz. Let's say we had 1,000, I'd split it up, and I would divide it down, and we'd do thread concurrency and like some other shit, and we'd cook with that. We'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll give you guys a better example of how to do this with D-Lang. That's actually a good idea. 15 equals 1, then and end if. So we're gonna take an array and we're gonna take all the indexes of said array, put it through this. So that will need to be done with like a for each or some shit. But anyway, we need to create our array. So let's do integer, which I think you need to do it like that. But an array is F90. Our array examples are as follows. You do array 7, you can do an array dynamic. Here's the examples. Integer dimension 12, or dimension 10. Oh, okay, so I just declared a dynamic one. I don't know if there's a program with these features for the beam cursor, where Windows helper for typing disappear once the right word is selected, but arranged like a revolver cylinder. I know it sounds like a stupid idea, sorry. Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, I'm not able to make a program like that because... I get what you mean, though. That's pretty cool. If, like, something like that existed, that'd be pretty cool. Like, for Arch Linux, you have good ideas. Like, if... Like, I get what you mean, like a wheel of, like, different things you can do. Like, a program wheel. Bro. Hold that thought real quick. We have to go to ArchVidia real quick. I need some graphics going. Alright, I think here's what he's trying to say. New. Or what they are trying to say. We got our program wheel. And on each index, you got your program. And you can select a program. You hold like CTRL plus I, and it pulls up this wheel, right? And this wheel's got all the fun stuff on it. It's got like program. This is the future of desktop, by the way. This right here. Programs. For example, you have like Brave. You could have OBS. You could have, for example, somebody should make this, but not me, because I don't want to do GTK, and especially not something that's a fucking circle. But this would be cool. Also, you could have like a name, so like you could call this my programs. Getting a nice zoom in. My programs with big S. So your programs can go on the wheel. X, Y, Z, and then you just click it with your mouse. This is a typical KDE mouse. Or like you got your Xorg one, like X mouse. But yeah, that's a great idea. I think that'd be a cool idea. If somebody makes that, please let me know. Otherwise, I might start working on it myself, but I don't really know if that's probably something out of the scope for my episodes. That's a really great idea, though. That would be something cool for me to make if I do have time. If I find the time besides like learning Fortran. But we're gonna have to wrap it up for today. So put my comment in here. To do write fizzbuzz. I always like to write a fizzbuzz since it's a great thing to do. Tomorrow we're gonna do... Oh, hey, tomorrow we don't have a programming stream, really. Damn, that's sad. Kind of wanted a program tomorrow. What are we doing, though? Besides, maybe Quake. I don't know. I didn't have anything planned. Oh, might be messing with the Odroid M1S. We'll see. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye. Have a nice